Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt and I do like video games, and in today's video we got to talk a little bit about Gears of War E-Day. I did a video on Perfect Dark. I'm going to be doing videos on a few things that I really enjoyed from the Xbox showcase. This time it's Gears of War E-Day, so let's get into it. So I'm going to start this video kind of the same way I started last video when I talked about Perfect Dark. Gears of War E-Day not being my #1 thing at the show is a testament to how goddamn crazy that show was, quite frankly. But guys, what can I really say about Gears of War E-Day other than I'm just extremely ecstatic. Now, I'm someone who, I think most people kind of just assumed that the Coalition's next game was going to be Gear 6. I know there was talk for a good long while when the generation started that the Coalition was working on a new IP. They were taking a break from Gears of War. They were working on a new IP. And then a few years later, it kind of came out that the new IP isn't going forward. It got canned, whatever the case may be. I don't know what happened, but there were reports that the new IP wasn't going forward, right? And, well, here we go. 2024's Xbox showcase. Gears of War ends the show, and it's not Gears 6. It's Gears of War E-Day, an absolute bombshell of an announcement. And I was talking about this with my buddies Ham Solo, Hard Days Mike, and Uso Vinny a couple weeks ago when we were kind of like predicting what would be at the showcase. And I mentioned that this showcase would be the perfect opportunity for Microsoft to play into a little bit of nostalgia. Phil Spencer mentioned it at the top of the show, right after they showed Call of Duty. He said, it's been 10 years since Call of Duty has been at an Xbox showcase. I mean, that's a long time. I mean, not in the grand scheme of things, but it's a long time. And in that 10 years, you lost players during the Xbox One generation specifically. You lost players to PC, you lost players to PlayStation, and when those players see that, hey, Call of Duty is going to be at this showcase, I should tune into that, right? Well, they tune into it, and what do they see closing the show right before Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, which is very clever placement on Microsoft's behalf. What do they see before that Black Ops 6 Direct? They see Gears of War. There's not many games within the Xbox library of games that instill more nostalgia than the original Gears of War, right? And I say this as someone who's not even the hugest Gears of War fan. Like, I really like Gears, but there's people out there who love it. They live it, they breathe it. It's what they love, right? I'm someone who likes it. And I do have some very heavy nostalgia for the 360 generation. You know, Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. I got nostalgia for that stuff. So when Sarah Bond says they've got one more thing before the Call of Duty Black Ops Direct, I got a little bit excited, right? Because Gears of War has been rumored. I think, hey, we're going to hear Gears of War 6, right? All right, I'm interested to see some more Gears. It's been a long time. We haven't played Gears in a while. I want to see what they got for us next. Well, it cuts into a dark trailer, a pretty gritty dark trailer, right? And the Locust crashes through the wall with Marcus Phoenix. They show Marcus Phoenix, close-up face, and he's looking young. But I'm not even really thinking about it at that point. I'm like, oh, it's just like, this is the Gears of War collection. This must be the Gears of War collection because it's young Marcus. It makes sense that it would be the Gears of War collection. Well, the trailer keeps going, and then you start to hear the music in the background. The music starts to swell. And I start wondering, hey, is that Mad World? Because that's very interesting, right? And the floor just collapses beneath him. An E-hole just appears beneath him. And he's about to fall in, and someone grabs his hand. And I had the thought that, dude, if that's Dom, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. And I'll tell you what, when they showed it and it was Dom, I lost my fucking mind. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, okay, both of these guys look really young. At this point, it can't be the collection. It can't be. And then it cuts to black. Gears of War, and it gives you like a 5-second pause to let you really guess what it is. What are they going to say? Gears of War what? and then it just pops up on the screen. E-Day. And it's very rare that I feel like I can speak for everyone, but I feel like I speak for everyone when I say I was absolutely floored. They bamboozled me. I mean, obviously you're thinking it's Gear 6, but then the way the trailer's going, it's like, hey, it's young Marcus, and Dom's there, so maybe this is the Gears collection, right? And then they end it with, it's neither of those things, it's a prequel. And they nailed the tone. I mean, it is just a trailer after all, we got to keep in mind. But they nailed the tone. They brought it way down because throughout the Gears franchise, we kind of lost the horror element. It's not so scary playing Gears. Like, Gears 5 isn't so scary. Gears 4 wasn't so scary. Gears 3 wasn't so scary. Even Gears 2 wasn't so scary. But in Gears 1, they had some genuinely kind of terrifying things in that game, right? And so when they announce a prequel for the Gears series, it's only fitting that it would have those same horror undertones because, guys, it's E-Day. Like, this is right when it kicked off. This is the beginning of everything. So it should be scarier. It should be a little bit darker. Marcus Phoenix probably should be getting his ass kicked by just a regular ass grub because you never seen that before, right? You don't have any experience fighting that. And that thing was beating the shit out of Marcus. Beating the shit out of him. Marcus got off a shot and he was lucky he survived. But like the way that trailer played out, like the brutality of it, the way they made that just a regular grub seems so terrifying. Is just so awesome to see. So awesome to see. And there's a really cool article by Jez Corden over on Windows Central. I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'm not going to go through the whole article because that's his article. That's his content. I don't want to just regurgitate it, quite frankly. But there's two things in particular in the article that I think are really, really awesome, and I will talk about. He mentioned asking about the multiplayer for Gears of War E-Day because I think one of the biggest concerns for a lot of fans of the series, when they announced this prequel, many people were asking, does that mean it's not going to have traditional Gears of War multiplayer? And I think that's a fair question to ask, especially in the climate of gaming today, right? Where it seems like you're paying more and it seems like you're getting less more often than not. So it's a fair question to ask. And the answer isn't entirely direct, but it does help reassure, at least me personally. When asked about the Gears of War multiplayer for this game, he says, I would say this is the next mainline Gears game. Gears has a pretty clear DNA for gameplay modes, so you can probably anticipate where we'll be going with E-Day. Also mentioned in the article was the Chainsaw Lancer, which is just a short little note in the article, but I thought it was interesting. I know the big thing for E-Day, I'm not a huge Gears of War lore buff, so I don't know everything, but I do know that the Chainsaw Lancer came along just a little bit later, right? Well, we did see the Retro Lancer in the trailer, and we did get it confirmed via this article that you will see the Chainsaw Lancer at some point in this game, which is pretty awesome because, I mean, who doesn't love the Chainsaw Lancer? And then the final thing I want to bring up for this video in regards to Gears of War E-Day is a little bit of a rumor, and this is something that came from The Verge, from Tom Warren over at The Verge. Gears of War E-Day might, keyword might, be targeting a 2025 release. A much earlier 2025 release than anybody would have expected. You know, it ended the show with it, but it didn't show us the date, or not a date, but it didn't even show us the release window. And we got a lot of things for 2025 in that showcase. So I figured, hey, if you're not going to show 2025, well, then it's probably 2026. Well, apparently there are some reports that it could possibly be 2025. And another game that's 2025, Fable, is rumored to be, I think, around the October to December timeframe for 2025. Definitely the holiday season, right? Well, in Tom Warren's report, it was said that Gears of War would be coming even before Fable. So, I mean, does that mean summer? Does that mean spring? Are we talking early 2025? Like, who knows exactly what that means? And again, it is just a rumor, but it is a little bit of hopium for the Gears fans around the world. I know it's been a while since we've got a brand new entry to the Gears of War series. I mean, I think Gears 5 came out in 2019, and then Gears Hivebusters soon after, around the time of the new consoles. So, you know, having a 5-6 year period in between the last official Gears of War mainline entry and the new mainline entry is a decent amount of time. And I know people are definitely thirsty for some Gears of War, myself included. But I want to pose the question to you guys. First of all, are you excited for Gears of War E-Day? I think that's an obvious question. Second of all, when do you think it releases? Because like I said, I fully expected 2026. And I kind of still do expect 2026, even after these rumors. But leave in the comments below, when do you expect Gears of War E-Day to release? And also keep in mind, if Gears releases in 2025, that's Doom the Dark Ages, that's South of Midnight, that's Gears of War E-Day, and that's Fable. That's also not including a bunch of the third-party stuff we saw at the showcase, like Atomfall. I really, really liked what I saw from Atomfall at the showcase. Like, 2025 could be historic. Could be a historic year for Xbox if things go according to plan in that regard. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like if you liked the video, and if you're enjoying this kind of content and you want to stay up to date with it going forward over here on the channel, the best way to do that is consider subscribing. Consider ringing that notification bell, because it helps you stay up to date with everything that happens over here on the channel, and it helps promote me, and the algorithm helps push the videos out to way more people, and I always, always, always appreciate that. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.